record and Mrs. Ryan.
Yippee.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, mister.
There you go. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
All right.
I really like the new opening. I just want to say that.
Thanks, Mrs. Ryan. Thanks. That was a last-minute thought. I was like, oh, wait a second. We need that.
Here we go.
Completely forgot. Said, oh, we're totally ready for the show today. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. My name is Jay Ryan. This is Nicole Ryan. We are the Ryans. And this is It's Tonight's Show.
Here we go.
Here we go.
I like it. This is the new one.
This is exciting. If it looks a little different, we have, well, let's back up. We've been gone for a couple days without any fanfare or pomp and circumstance. And what we have been doing is experimenting in the studio, still trying to find a happy medium of life with the Ryans and then this new Tonight Show with this amazing new stuff that we have. So we've reconfigured a bit. I assume you can probably see some things different, and we are feeling much more comfortable. Is that fair?
Yeah.
We're like right here.
I'm still getting used to it, but it's much more comfortable as an entity of a show.
Yeah, I feel like we're on the same side now, which is important part of it, you know. And then now there's two guest chairs, and then you don't have to like Ed McMahon, Andy Richter over. Yeah, it's not. That's the sidekick position. That's not the co-host position. Now you're in the co-host position. And I feel like it makes more sense.
I am the co-host.
Yeah, I know.
I am in the position.
It's pretty cool though, right?
Yeah, it's so cool.
So with that, we had to, once a decision was made that this was kind of the direction that we were going to go, and I believe we're going to stay here now, it became a matter of settling in. And, you know, I don't know how many times people have heard me say, oh, we rewired the studio, or oh, we had to work on the lighting, or oh, redo the wiring for the audio, or whatever the heck. We did it all again. And
yeah, I assure everyone, you have no idea how much work has gone into this every day.
Yeah, it's good though. I feel like we're here. I feel like we did it. I feel like we're there. So I mean, you know, this is kind of similar. That'll be the same when we have a guest. Whoops-a-daisy. And then hopefully the guest will be in focus,
Hello.
Which would be good for them. Oh, look at that. There's the behind the scenes cam. We're going to figure that out, but it's a producer Kate cam as well, which is always nice. She's over there. Hi, Kate.
Welcome back.
And then, of course, we've got our wide over there. So, but for the most part, I believe that this is where the Ryans live.
Cool.
And it feels good. It's kind of neat because it's, ironically, we were trying to get away from what obviously all this stuff is well known for, to try to do our own thing. I feel like we've gone a little bit more back to how it was designed and everything, except we have, maybe it's a hybrid.
It's a hybrid. Yeah, you switched it a little bit. It's definitely that, but also ours, and that feels very real with the turnover or the changeover that's been done, the set you've created and cleaned up.
Thanks. Yeah, no, awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, well, on with the show, because we're gonna talk about all this stuff. There's no guest today. That's another thing. I think we're working out our formatting now. We've got the set locked. And the studio locked, so now it's a matter of what's the show going to be. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a bit, so I say let's just kind of move on with the show and figure it out. What do we normally do now? East Coast feed.
East Coast feed.
That's right. It's been a few days since we've checked in with the Kaz man. Let's see what he's been up to. So let's open up the East Coast feed there and roll it, Hal.
This is Ryan. Steve Kaz and my good friend Victor. Say hi, Victor. As you can see in the background is Lake Warmong. Beautiful. Up here in upstate Connecticut. You can see behind me, we have a little, the vineyard. That's the Hopkins Vineyard. And we're going to the Hopkins Inn for lunch because it is a beautiful day to just have a nice drive in the country. Just wanted to check in with you guys and give some love to LA. Love you guys.
Oh, love that guy.
Love that guy. Do you know where he was?
Yeah, it's funny you asked that. He said Lake Warmong. It's Lake Warmug, like mug, like M-U-G, I believe. But he may be thinking of Armonk, New York, I think probably where he's from. But Lake Warmug, I believe at least a portion of, or the areas surrounding it were used, when I was a kid, Lake Warmug, let me back that up. When I was a kid, Lake Warmug was Camp Crystal Lake, as in like hockey mask. It was one of the Friday the 13th was shot there. I think when we were kids, I think we all thought it was the first one, but I think it was like second or third. Well, you know, one of the many sequels. But that's where he was. And then the vineyard, or it's not a vineyard there, but there's a tasting room I have been to as well. And it's neat. It's beautiful. It's exactly what you would think of New England.
It looks very pretty New Englandy.
The red barn, the white church. Yeah. You know, it's like a film set. It's like a film set.
All right. Yeah,
well, I mean, I guess so. They shot the movie.
Well, there you go.
Probably many other things. I just love that he's always out and about. That was probably, I'm guessing, a customer or a customer's car or something, just because of the attire. And because why is he out there in the middle of the day? But at the same time, that may be totally off. He may have had a whole nother thing going. You know what I mean? Who the heck knows? He might have been doing a business meeting. So whatever. But gosh, we love that guy. Let's see where else he's been. East Coast Feed. Roll it, Hal.
This is Ryan, East Coast Feed Live with the family. Michelle, Papa Kaz, Coraline, Mom, everybody at the pool here. You know, enjoying a little festivities for the holiday. You don't mind if I hold on to you, right? Coraline, say hi to everybody at home in LA. Say hi to you don't mind if I hold on to you, right? Thank you. Take a picture of my hair. That was her giving you guys some love. Love you guys.
Love that guy. Love that whole family.
Love that family.
So we should probably talk about, all right, so Grandpa, who was holding Coraline there, is Papa Kaz. Used to be Papa Kaz. Now I guess he's probably Grandpapa Kaz or Pappy Kaz or something. But the cool thing about that fella, in addition to being like my surrogate father, he is the Frank Sinatra behind Echoes of Sinatra. The Frank Sinatra, I don't want to say impersonation because it's not that, but he sings Frank's songs
like a rendition
on stage, but he does it his own way.
Yeah.
He did, no, for real, he does.
Yeah.
And he's spectacular. So Echoes of Sinatra, if you hear about it, if you see it somewhere, go see the show. I forget where we're over here now. I forget. If you see or hear about Echoes of Sinatra, go see it. It's that guy, and the show's spectacular. It just is. That's all I have to say about that. And the rest of the family, love them. How about the 4th of July by the pool in Connecticut? Not bad.
It's so American. There is such a piece out of the Americana Pie. That family, that shot.
The Americana Pie.
Yeah,
I love that.
It was really adorable.
All right, so we have a new segment. That I am pulling out my phone here for. I need this. I'm not trying to be rude. What we have here is a text I'm about to send. Actually, I'm just going to send it. So what we have done there, I have just sent this text to the Kaz boys.
Oh, my. Nice.
Congratulations, you have been selected to compete in the Kaz Family Guy Challenge. Complete the quote below first to beat your brother and become the Kaz Family Guy champion. Okay, ready? Holy crap. ... So we'll see who responds back first, and then we'll have a winner. There's not a whole lot here, but this is what we do, and I think it's kind of a neat way to interact with people.
Silly question. Is that a movie quote?
Family Guy.
Family Guy.
TV show.
Shit. Distracted.
Was it too deep for you? So I was trying to do Kaz Family and Family Guy.
No, it's not deep. I just didn't pay that close of attention, and I should have paid to the semantics of it.
Oh, okay.
That's all.
Here, what I'll do is I'll just leave that over there, and I'm sure that it'll probably chime in over here, so we'll just know when
all right, boys.
Yeah,
let's go.
When that happens. No, but that can be whenever. So I would say, because we don't know what they're doing. I mean, Mikey Kaz is a firefighter, so who knows for him? And then the Kazman's Danbury Chive and Ridgefield BMW and everything else. So
I can't wait.
That could be a few minutes. We'll see on that. In the meantime, though, Mrs. Ryan, I would like to ask you about the question that's on everybody's mind. What's going on?
Well, sir. Did you know that baths are better for your mental and physical health than showering?
Well, I didn't know that. What is the science that says that this is the decision made and that we're declaring it?
A Japanese study. So go with what you will. But
well, they soak. I mean, that's part of their culture.
They like soaking.
Soaking tub, sure.
That's their thing. The mental part, I think, goes without saying, that like it's rest and relaxation and like in a bath.
Okay.
And you calm
down. So the
down.
rejuvenation part's built in?
That, it seems self-explanatory to me, but just that's the physical part or the mental part. But the physical part, there's physiological studies that have been done that that being in a bath changes the hyperthermic. It encourages the hyperthermic action of warming and opening the blood vessels closer to the surface of your skin, which then allows everything else to stay warmer.
It's so interesting. I would think it would be the opposite, that a cold everything would be good for that. I guess not.
This study says no.
That's cool.
So,
all right, neat.
Heads up.
So we should all be taking baths instead of showers. I'm sure there's a lot of more factors to that, like the length and the temperature of the water. And
I don't know. I think it's more the action of choosing to take a bath versus choosing to take a shower.
That's what I think too. I think it's being present, making a decision that's probably going to be more beneficial to you. Oh, you're going to basically, it takes more time to do. It's boring. It's a version of meditation. So it probably makes you healthier in general.
I would agree.
Is that fair?
I think that's fair.
Some version of that.
Yeah, but it's just it's something that was a study that I thought was random, but that to me I think about a lot, but not everyone does. So need to explore.
Heck yeah! All right.
Okay, the second one is Meet Lola, a girl who gave her final days to science.
Where is she?
Dead. She died earlier this year, though. She had a form of cancer.
How are you going to meet her? Through her parts that she gave away to people? Is it like 7 pounds with Will Smith's eyes?
No, it was just a story about her. So I guess it could have been differently worded. But she was only 12. She had a disease called DIPG. And
DIPG.
Her quote, well, her reason for like doing a live study, basically for an experimental treatment, was that it wasn't about her. It was for other kids that were suffering with this.
And she knew that on her own?
Yeah.
Like at 12? That's
why she...
And you know what? She knew what she was doing. She's one of those people, you know what I mean? Like she'll come back some other way or whatever the heck, but...
The story, her parents spoke to the story and said like she was old enough.
That's
like,
amazing.
This was her choice. And so...
That's amazing.
I love that, and I hope that more people do. Only like 300 people a year are diagnosed with this thing. It's crazy and it's scary, and I really just love her for being so candid with her struggles with it.
Yeah, everything's crazy and scary, but I think to have the wherewithal at 12 years old to decide that I'm going to do good here after I'm gone, that's impressive to me.
It was quite impressive, and it gave me some inspiration.
Yeah. No, I know.
Oh, should
next one.
Next one. Well, this is the last one I have. Starbucks hops on the bandwagon and eliminates plastic straws.
I got that one too, except I called mine the last straw. Starbucks announces no more straws by 2020. All right. Well, also, I will add to that, Mrs. Ryan. Thank you very much. Costco disappoints, cutting the Polish dog from menus at most of their stores.
Oh.
I know. Not the hot dog. There's still the hot dog, but the Polish dog is being cut, apparently to make room for other items.
Oh, no.
I don't know. I mean, I've heard that they're wonderful, truly. I don't know that I've ever had the Polish dog there. But, you know, whatever. There you go. How about that? Science invented AI from DNA. Scientists invented AI from DNA.
Whoa.
Yeah, researchers, they made a neural network that's capable of recognizing handwritten numbers. Now, I don't know how this works. I don't know how, you know what I'm saying? Like, did they make an eyeball? Did they make a think? I don't know what they made. And I don't think it's, AI is not, it's not AI in how we're all talking about it and thinking about it these days. This is just simply the fact that, what it seems to me is that these scientists have created some version of life, and it has some version of intelligent life. I would call it IL versus AI, personally.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Or artificial AL maybe, or I don't know. I don't know exactly, but the headline isn't usual. And closing out, this was actually something. Will it work? Will it work? Dun, dun. The B stands for betrayal. IHOB. It was all a scam to promote their burgers. Yep, they admitted it. Yep.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm. Just a big publicity thing to promote their new burgers for their meat. But they are back to the International House of Pancakes. Disappointing, exciting. I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like, what are you guys doing over there? You know.
I find it lame.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Irritated.
That's what it is for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if people start like boycotting IHOP now because of the lack of transparency and authenticity.
I'm certainly not going to buy a burger there.
It isn't the first place I think of to go for burgers, even still.
No way.
What did we just try the first time the other day? The Canadian joint, Shake Shack. Shake Shack. People probably know Shake Shack and have for years. I don't know how it escaped us. We just had it. It was very good. I thought it was delicious.
Yeah.
Hot dog I could do. I'm not a big all beef hot dog guy.
I didn't love the hot dog, but the burger was great and the chicken thing was good.
Yeah, agreed. Spicy chicken sandwich. Way to go. Shake Shack.
Yeah.
Nice to go. Oh, and their
And the
milkshake.
shake.
Holy smokes.
Game changer.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Mrs. Ryan, what do you want to do next?
Well,
We can talk about your stuff there. Is your coffee okay? We could take a break. We can do any of the above.
coffee's fine. I'm happy to just jump in.
All right, cool. Well, then we'll be right back with more after this. And we're back. I'm a little disappointed. You know what? Let's see what time it is. So it's 6:30 there. So anyway, they could be in traffic. They could be working still, closing out the day. They could be having a happy hour. You know
It's
what I mean?
unusual, boys.
Yeah, I know. They're normally both so good about it. All right, so go into what you'd like to talk about then for the day.
Well, I'm hoping you'll talk with me because this is my package dealness of it.
I'd rather not talk with you.
Okay, then do not. I will just monologue. Basically, when we started talking about it, especially it's the new presentation of the show and stuff, I figured I would just really be very clear about what I struggle with and why I look like I'm jittery and I move around and fidgety sometimes.
Yes, actually, that's good because I'm going to cut to that camera so you can keep talking to me. I'm just going to fix something. Keep going.
Because MS is weird and everyone that has it has something different. We struggle with different symptoms and blah, blah, blah. So I'm having a really weird flare-up situation, which is compounding all of mine. So I just wanted to be really forthcoming about what those are.
I'm really glad that you're talking about it. I'm glad that you're sharing it with people. I'm glad that you feel comfortable and strong. I'm glad you have the strength to talk about it, quite frankly. It's awesome.
Thanks.
This is growth, personal growth for you. This is growth for Mrs. Ryan, so I like to celebrate it. But I hope that you also realize it.
I realize that I struggle. This is my whole big part of it. And I really struggle with embracing being a voice of goodness about it.
Okay.
So bear with me, everyone. I really want to be.
I think that right there is the most important part.
Okay.
Your struggle is going to be your struggle, and it's going to get easier and easier. But the fact that you want to take what you have and what you deal with on a daily basis and somehow turn that into knowledge, education, information for everyone else at home and in the rest of the world, I think is huge, important. You're doing a service. You should salute yourself on the little wins like that.
Well, I appreciate it, and it's
You weren't always emotionally
equipped. Correct.
To talk about it without getting emotional, and you're getting so much better about just the nuts and bolts of it. And I feel that that's what you need in order to be a voice to then spread a message.
Well, I get really caught up in the nitty gritty of it. Like I get very zoomed in on it, which I know is a big thing. We talk about like zoom out, like about everything.
For everybody.
For
just you.
Yeah.
All of us.
But for me personally, I tend to get I kind of get stuck in that zoomed in place. So when I talk to other people, I still talk from that zoomed in place. So everything looks sometimes worse than it is. It looks harder on me than it might be. Like I'm just literally I'm living in the pain that I'm feeling. And so it's super zoomed into like a negative place. And I don't, you've called me out a couple times where you've heard me speak and you're like, I know that's not what you thought. That's literally just you being in so much pain that it's not coming out the right way. Totally. And twofold, I wanted to acknowledge that up front, that I sometimes say things that I don't necessarily mean the words of. Like the emotion that I'm saying is true, but the words sometimes misalign. So feel free to call me out, because I'm serious. It's the only thing that helps me learn. And so when people are PC around me, like I said one time, like way long ago, I was talking to someone and I said to them, like, my face isn't matching up to what I'm saying.
Yeah, or the emotion doesn't line up, yeah.
And people are lovingly so PC that they don't want to offend me worse and be like, and so the
yeah,
response
it's its own
is,
problem though, because it perpetuates the whole.
it perpetuates everything, because the response is typically, no, you look fine. And I'm like, nope, kind of like the girl in my story earlier, I am like one with science. Like, tell me what is wrong. Like,
Yeah.
if I say my face doesn't match up, either ask me what I mean or tell me that it's looking weird. Like, you tell me, you're like, you look angry. And I'm like, I'm not.
When I know whatever you look like to be so drastically different than what I know, what I believe and understand you to be in the moment, I do feel the need to tell you.
And I'm super appreciative. So
Not so that you change it either, just so that you are aware. Just people need to be aware, and sometimes we're not aware.
and that's one of the biggest things with this, of like the biggest one that everyone, I think a lot of people, sorry, that was.
No, it's great. I'm glad we're talking about it, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I think it's really great that we're talking about it here for other people to see, but I'm glad that we're talking about it in general.
Me too. Pardon me. Basically, my struggle is that everyone that I talk to is like, oh, is it a flare up? Or are you just tired? And I'm like, no, it goes like way deeper. But the real thing that I struggle with is that, yeah, I'm horribly tired. Like, my body is so fatigued, and fatigue means something different than like, I need to take a nap. Like, it's so different.
Yeah. It's hard, though, for a healthy, able-bodied person to understand.
Oh, totally.
And that's not their fault.
No, not at all. But my interactions with people in my trying to explain that sometimes causes me a great deal of embarrassment. And then that's where my intellectual, emotional disconnect of like not being emotionally equipped to deal with people, it's when that's a flare. Like, that's how I have exacerbations, is my body literally tenses up.
Yeah.
And in those moments, and it causes just mass embarrassment. So it's my job. And I guess I'm saying to people, like, sometimes like I'm super not myself. And so that's the embarrassment of like, I need people to just like grab my arm and be like, it's all good. And just change the subject.
You mean almost like just get present, like get here with that kind of thing?
Yeah, because and it happens all the time with you, and I'm sorry. Like, I get caught in this neurological track of like whatever's in my mind. It's like reading whatever's on the menu in front of me and picking from that versus making my own sandwich. And I need to learn how to make my own sandwich.
Or at least know what you want
to
order it.
Yeah. So when I get in
I do notice you that way with most things, though. Like, so that's why you can't walk past a television, any kind of stimulation without checking out what it is. And it's like, even sometimes we've had this conversation when you're fatigued, MS'd out, like we've been on a drive, it's been hot, you're coming back doing cat chores or whatever, and it's like all you need to do is medicate and lay down. But you're trying to get everything done, before, so that you can then relax. Totally understandable. At that point, you're not taking care of you. You're not putting your oxygen mask on first. Yeah. You're not. So you are just becoming and you're building up resentment against everything around you as well.
Yeah.
And not you, anybody who is pushing themselves beyond their limits. Knowing your limits. There is nothing wrong with having limits. Know where they are, find them, know where they are, and then live within them. And then you can do anything you want. I swear to God, it's that simple.
It's the evolution of the adage of like, you can have it all, just not at the same time.
Yeah.
So just take a breath and back up. Like, what do you really want right now? Focus on that. And that's been the biggest lesson that you've taught me that I've had to deal with MS, because it's basically like it slows down time for me because my brain still works super fast, but my body does not.
MS slows down time? Was it because you're not able to do as much? How do you mean? I mean
in the okay, the first time I had pot, I was like, I'm so thirsty, I would love that glass of water, and I was like, do. And I was like, why the fuck am I not just like grabbing the water? MS does that to me all the time. So like my legs, like I'm like, I'll just run over there. My legs are like do, and then I get frustrated and then I get emotional and whatever.
Bandwidth seems to be an issue, like getting signals to and from.
There's
Is that what you're saying? I don't want to miss.
no, it's a medical way to say what I'm talking around. The flare-ups of MS and what normally like lets people see what it is. Mm-hmm. It's an exacerbation. It's a demyelination caused by inflammation. Mm-hmm. So it's the signals have a harder time going through. They get lost. I just showed that in live time.
No, that's good. That's kind of why it's great. I have a feeling you're going to get some messages after this one because you're putting it out there. You're putting yourself out there and you're laughing about it. And that is all anybody wants from you. I swear to God. They just want you to be okay with you. Oh, here comes the tears. But they're good ones this time. It seems happier. You have a positive energy about you versus like a woe is me.
I really don't want to be that person.
Oh, good.
So I struggle with that too because that's like, okay, can I read a list of symptoms really quick?
Sure.
Okay. So to me, fatigue
Wrap it up. Just kidding. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
Fatigue is the one that underlines all of this because if you weren't fatigued to the point of exhaustion all the time, you could deal with all of these that I'm going to say much easier, and so they wouldn't be as problematic. Problem. Yes.
Sure.
But the other symptoms of MS that are notable, walking, having gait difficulty.
You have both of those?
Oh, yes. I would love for you to point out the ones I have. Thanks. Yeah. That was my note.
Yeah.
Numbness and tingling, sensations in limbs. Ding. Spasticity, which is stiffness and involuntary muscle spasms, often of the legs.
You have that too.
Mm-hmm. Weakness, just in general.
Goes without saying.
Vision problems.
That's what started it all for you?
Dizziness and vertigo.
That happens constantly anytime you change your position from prone to, any of your...
standing
recline
up.
To prone. Yeah.
It's all very, very weird.
Is that low blood pressure too, though? Is that part of it? Because I've had that my whole life. I mean, I broke my nose that way.
I didn't have any of that until my spinal tap. So pressure system seems to play into whatever that is for sure.
Pressure system, okay.
Bladder problems, sexual problems, pain.
Bladder problems holding the bladder or inflammation? What kind of
basically controlling, using the musculature that holds shit together.
Incontinence type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of stories on that I read online.
A lot of close calls. And in our life, a lot of close calls.
Yeah. Cognitive changes, emotional changes, speech problems, swallowing problems, sleep problems, tremors, seizures.
Tremors, I don't know about you. Do have moments, but you don't have tremors like as a regular tremor like I'm simulating now.
If you saw me hold my coffee cup, you might see it more. And it's more it's more limited. My right hand is more tremor filled than my left hand. So if I hold stuff in my left hand, I look more stable.
Interesting.
Seizures.
All of the other ones, though. Check.
Yeah, tremors, I think, unless you're like Parkinson's-y, they found like similarities. So unless you're that bad, it's not as obvious. But
there's no doubt they're connected, by the way, in my personal opinion.
Totally, and I totally agree. But I feel it, and it feels like an earthquake in your leg, and it's like I feel like there's a movie where someone's leg is moving, and it's
wobble. That's interesting. Okay. Next.
Yeah.
These are all just generic, regular MS systems. You just happen to have.
These are the ones that I started seizing up today, and I was like, I've got to look at something. This is it's weirder than normal. Too many of my systems weren't going along, so I looked. I rarely look up MS things because everyone seems to be really negative, and I'm trying so hard not to be negative.
And jumping online to diagnose your problem is not a good move.
No, but there's another reason why I'm so glad we're doing this and that you helped me have the opportunity, because there is not a lot of information out there that's not generic facts. That's why this list is it's a lot. I have a lot of them. Itching, headaches, and depression.
Itching, headaches, or is that two different
things? Two different things. Okay. Itching, headaches, hearing loss, and depression and anxiety triggers. So
Depression and anxiety, probably. I mean, everybody these days has both depression and anxiety, but I would say that those are probably also.
I feel like I have every single one of these that's on the list, and they're just like, these are the symptoms of MS. And it's like, okay, well, clearly I have it.
Yeah.
But they don't.
This goes up there with like, take a bath over a shower. Like, there's so much more, people.
There's tons more,
It's all
but
surface.
I guess the bigger thing is like knowing that anyone's dealing with anything, and that mine is like fatigue is the biggest thing, and that it's an emotional, intellectual disconnect. Be cautious with words, and I have to be, and you call me out all the time because I say the wrong thing, but like words trigger that's their job. Like they're meant to be like, this is what I mean.
Yeah, if you want to communicate, you got to do that. You know what I mean? So you can't say the opposite of what you mean, and that's when I call you out on it. I don't call you out, but I just said like, did you mean blah blah blah? And you're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, because you said the opposite. You're like, right.
I struggle with literal versus metaphorical usages of things.
That's tough too, yeah, because we both ping pong in and out of that.
And I find that most people do. Just like in conversation, it's easier to say something ironically or sarcastically versus like, I'm really feeling this way.
Oh, you mean easier for the, yeah.
So
well, we're trying to break through all that stuff for everybody, right?
You've helped me tremendously in understanding the difference between literal meanings and metaphorical possibilities of meanings. And I hate you for it. It makes me crazy.
Yeah, because it cracks the world open.
Yeah, because it takes all of that fourth wall. Like, I can build a world. Like, it takes all that out of the equation, which is great. In the long run. A lot more pressure
on the individual to run their own lives, though.
Yes, and I find that that's what my MS did. It really like put on the foreground, like how you treat anyone who's not like you and not as quick and not as fast and
anyone
smart.
Who has a different perspective. How about anyone else that isn't you?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a bum on the street. It doesn't have to be a rich billionaire. There's everybody in the middle that are all different. We all got different shit. And we all do have shit, by the way. Everybody's got shit. Sorry.
Everyone has shit.
The most perfect people on Instagram have shit, and the guy who is living in a gutter has got awesome shit about him too. You know what I mean? It goes both ways.
Totally. And I think I'm off track, but whatever.
There is no. Don't worry. Don't beat yourself up. It's all good. We should. We're at 32 minutes. We'll go for a few more minutes and wrap it up.
Well,
but don't worry about it.
If I can ask for help and friends that watch this, and if notes are sent in, I want very badly to be able to talk to people that struggle with stuff like this, because no one seems to understand or know anyone that's talking about what they're struggling with or dealing with. And I find it to be tremendously helpful to know that there's a person that can be called.
Just people that are willing to talk, you mean?
Yeah.
A support system.
A light shown on, like, I know someone with this. Reach out. And like, we're being public. It's not comfortable for me to be public. I'm super embarrassed by it. But my option is, and this is a big deal for me, and for me putting it on you, like you taking me out to the car shows and stuff, like, yes, I could ostensibly have a whole different social life if I called everyone and said, come over and pick me up and let's go to the gal. But I don't want to do that. I want to be able to live our life together. And so it's more important that I make myself able to walk around and be functional as a human versus like, what's the best wheelchair I should get? Like, I'm not ever going to ask you to outfit Yellow Car to accommodate a wheel. Like, I just won't. Like, so.
When the time comes, we will, but we won't need to deal with that stuff.
Of course.
Right now.
Yeah. So, and I think so much of what helps me is people being awesome and the mood, keeping the energy positive, not up, not busy, not nightclubby, but just positive. And that's
what Breakfast Club's all about. Good vibes.
Good vibes. And so if I can offer that as a thing for anyone with MS or not, like, I find a lot of my friends have friends that have a weird pregnancy or a weird this, or are struggling emotionally with the death of this one or whatever.
Stuff going on. Yeah.
And it's like, I get all of that stuff. I don't have to have experienced all of it specifically, but I'm a ear that anyone can just tell me. Like, I'm not always the best listener inherently, but just be like, I need to tell you something. Don't talk. And I will not talk. Like, I love being that person for people. So that's my...
Proving you're awesome.
Thanks.
I'm serious.
It's new.
It's new the way you're looking at yourself because you're looking at yourself differently.
Yeah. I like this one.
Yeah. You should. You should. There's a lot to like.
Yeah. Finally got air.
Well, you are finally starting to look at it with the eyes that the rest of us do, I feel, versus the crudded up, busted ones that you were looking through, which were your own. Now you're able to kind of look at it. You've zoomed out. You've zoomed out a bit, and you're now able, I believe, to see yourself maybe a little more subjectively.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah. I feel a little bit more of a purpose. I think that's the... Yeah.
I'll tell you this. This Family Guy, Kaz Family Guy challenge is a fail. Kaz Family Guy challenge fail. I really thought this was going to be a win. I thought they'd be, you know, running back and forth. Who the heck knows? And who knows what they're dealing with today? I didn't let either one of them know I was doing this, so it was supposed to be a little pop-up surprise.
Until we know more, I'm flabbergasted.
Yeah. All right. Well, everything you just said, I'm going to build on it and talk about the show just for a couple minutes. Okay. What is it? What is the point of this show? We've talked a lot, and I'll just recap here very quickly about what it is for the Ryans. Mrs. Ryan has MS. You heard all about that today. I want to be around her, and this is what we know how to do. We've decided to, you know, we need to work from home. We've decided to do this show. What is this show? How can it keep going? What's it going to be? We kind of realized doing a daily show, which we needed to do, which was with just us talking, was kind of, I don't know, that's great for us, but it doesn't need to live on YouTube, so to speak. Then we got the guests coming in, and then that seemed to be really great, but then we were losing what we had. As you can see, it's sort of an amalgamation. It's a hybrid. That's what the show's going to be, I think. I mean, there isn't a Tonight Show for our car people. I mean, you can go on Jay Leno's Garage, you know, maybe, if you're lucky. But, you know, there's only like 6 or 8 of those a year. You know what I mean?
It doesn't feel the same.
No, and it's not the conversation. It is a conversation. I don't know. What I'm saying is maybe we can be that. I mean, maybe it's that simple that maybe that's what this is going to be. The answer to the question is we're not opposed to anything. All doors are open. We want to do this. We want to take what good we've found in life and pay it forward and try to keep that going as long as possible, especially with what's going on in the world. And I mean that everywhere. I don't mean here, and I don't mean just politically. I mean there's storms, and there's kids stuck in a thing still, and you know what I mean. There's all sorts of stuff. So yeah, I don't. The answer is we don't know, but we're open to anything. But the important part is that we're starting to feel more dialed in. So the show lives in this space now for sure. Now we're going to start experimenting with content and with format and with segments and the creative of the show, essentially creating what the show is.
Yeah.
Open to suggestions, recommendations, requests. Open to help. If you have anything where you want to contribute and you think, oh, I could send in this clip, it'd be funny, or I can do their graphics, or we can do the music for it, or whatever the heck. We need all of that stuff, and we're open to help from our people within the community.
Speaking personally, and I know you have similar, but like it means a lot to me to have the involvement of the people that we talk to every day in the show, and have people have a thing to be proud of and part of, and a community. It's community building, basically. It's my thing with that.
The old Johnny Tonight Show was a spot that was there every night where all of the people who were friends of the Johnny Tonight Show could just pop in. If they weren't on the schedule, they would just walk through the thing. You know what I mean? We kind of want to create that environment.
Yeah.
We're in this neighborhood where we've got everybody from the, you know, a lot of people from the Porsche community and all sorts of people from the SoCal car community. We're just in the middle of it all. We could be that if the world decides they need that and want that. We have a place and we're offering it. I think we would be. It sounds so cool and neat to me to have that be our thing, where we just kind of also talk about ourselves.
I love it, and I love that people appreciate the conversations we get out of people that come by.
Can't talk enough about the John Benton one. Because people are saying, you know, I've known John Benton for so many years and I didn't know any of that stuff.
Right.
And John, thank you for just talking and opening up for 2 hours.
It's shit like that I just really love about our opportunity that we've made here, and that we bring to that community of like, here's who you don't know about. Like people, there's a lot of assumptions made in life about what so-and-so is or how they are.
Yes, by all of us, right?
Yeah, by all of us.
Maybe your preconceived notions.
It's my big thing about MS. Like who knows what people think of me when they look at me, but now they know that like that's what's behind it, and it might change people's understanding.
Yes.
And that's what I feel like people coming on the show, like talking, they can talk about, you can sell anything you want, but being the person behind it is the person that we talk to. And that's the coolest. And I love that people from our little Porch community respond to that. So
I totally agree. Yes. And we're not, it's going to get better. Like we're figuring it out. You know, the production will constantly get better. Hopefully everything will just continue to grow. But know that we're open to opportunities as well. We feel that we're at that stage too, where we're building the show, we're figuring out what it is, and we are now open to anything that comes our way.
Yeah.
So
excited about it.
Yeah, Mrs. Ryan, I love you. You good to wrap it up?
Yeah.
All right.
Love you too.
Yeah, this feels really good. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about what the future holds.
Yeah. Yeah,
Cool.
It's going to be good.
Love you at home. Love you, Mrs. Ryan. What's going on? I don't remember what we've... The only thing I have on here is Jackie Mazzarella on Thursday. Fabulous actress. Funny person. The Oversharer. She had a show. She was whatever. We'll get into it. She's been in lots of things. She was on Everybody Hates Chris, actually. She was a school teacher on Everybody Hates Chris. Miss Morella.
That's really cool.
So funny, yeah.
Love that.
So anyway, we've got her this week and some other people as well. Anyway, love you so much, and we will see you tomorrow.